We're switched. We're live to the YouTube world. We've done it. All right.
Let's cheers.
Let's
do
cheers.
Cheers.
I fucking just like cummed in my eye with that beer. Holy shit. To
Cheersing
being
with
seen.
koozies.
To being seen.
That's good. Ooh. Morning. Welcome to Don't Be the Artist. I'm Hagen.
Dave.
I'm Adam.
And we have a
Do
special
I get
guest.
canceled?
No, you don't get
No,
canceled.
No. You just jumped on it.
We have I was trying to give you a little
We
preamble,
didn't tell
but
you during rehearsal.
We should have told you
Okay.
this part during rehearsal. Yeah.
All
We
right.
have a special guest today, and that special guest is, now you can say your name.
My name's Riley.
And Riley, what are you?
I'm a man.
Okay, that's a cancel button.
Oh yeah. I got. It's gonna get worse. I'm a carnivore. I'm a Brian May enthusiast.
I think that saves you a cancel. You don't get a
Okay.
cancel button
Depends
for
on
that,
the
I think.
person.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like drinking, and I play guitar in The Infamous, which I guess is why I'm here, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly
By the
right.
really long applause.
Wait.
At least if we talk over it.
No, it's
Don't talk over it.
I need a
so long.
pedal that does that for our shows when there's no one there.
we
I
need
can
one of those
just
too.
hit that and
Just audience sound.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, a friend of mine is doing like this experimental project where their friend has 80 minutes of audience noise, and my friend's gonna play bass on it, and they have a drummer too, so they're gonna have bass and drums behind pure audience noise. It'll be interesting.
That's what we were talking about
Yeah.
a couple Fridays ago, which
Yeah.
is just like we're in rock bands, and it's like I want to do cool artsy shit like that.
yeah, I don't.
Well, like it was more of like I couldn't tell you the last time that I got like that kind of levels of creativity. Like it was like so much of what we do is like playing like the same old shit or session work
Like,
or
it's
cover
fairly
band
like
stuff.
straightforward.
Yeah. And like it's nice to have that that opportunity to go that wild if you want to.
Yeah.
But when that scale tips, there's less money.
Yeah.
That's why we don't really get to do it.
That's why
Yeah,
a lot of
exactly.
people do that when they're in school.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, before we just jump right into it, how's everybody's day going?
Good.
Yeah.
I got in the mail yesterday a neck plate for my bass that is a picture of my dog,
Ooh.
and I swapped it out today. I didn't swap it out. The lovely
On the
tech.
back.
Yeah.
On the back. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one of picture.
So it's great when he looks down and he's playing, and there's just a picture of his dog. That is like the cutest
How
thing.
cool is that?
Did you get that from Greasy Groove?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought one from them. It's a cowboy
Oh, really?
on my Telecaster.
I
yeah,
love that. Is that where you got some of your pick guards too?
a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Greasy
Yeah.
Groove, based out of Canada. I
Yeah,
think.
Greasy Groove.
New
Customer
Brunswick.
service is okay, but products are pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a Canadian thing. Don't give me one of those, please.
Actually, he could definitely give you one.
Yeah, I could. I'm not going to.
But I don't
though.
know if you would disagree with that, though.
No, I didn't really have to deal with them because I liked
Yeah.
the stuff. But yeah,
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, they could put anything you want on back plates or picks.
anything. Yeah.
Some of their work is better than others. Their back plates are pretty good. I just ordered like a Paisley pick guard and a Perloid pick, just generic stuff. But I've never had like a custom thing done. But they also have like the adult section. Have
They
you
do.
seen that?
I have seen that.
Naked,
They have,
naked.
like,
Oh man, I was so like I thought you were gonna say I have some.
I have
Yeah.
I got a custom dildo from.
Yeah.
No. Greasy Groove. You know.
Yeah, no, you can get like topless chicks on
Yeah.
your pick guard.
Yeah.
But it's
Something
kind of
tells me that's how they started.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's a teenager out there listening to Korn that's like, I need that.
What is
for
the company called?
Greasy
Groove.
They
Groove?
definitely started with like
Yeah.
the adult stuff.
Pornography themed gear accessories.
Yeah.
You don't see tits on a pick guard.
Yeah.
Not enough.
That's
Not
how you know.
Not enough.
Dude, you should get a custom one.
Do you want to fucking rock or not? You need exactly. You need tits on your bass.
You should get a custom
You need
one
to
for
show.
your Flying V that's just legs open.
You know, I don't know. The leopard one I have is hard to beat.
That's
Leopard
true.
legs.
I'd have to buy another Flying V. I don't really want another one. I already have two, so I have a Flying W, and I'm already getting blamed for like 9/11 for like having that. So like, I guess if I did get a third one, it'd be like a.
Yeah, you get a cancel button.
Give that to George Bush.
You're the next best thing right now.
All right. If we get George Bush on here, then
All right.
Yeah.
No getting blamed for 9/11, I guess.
George Bush would be like,
I'm the
there are
victim.
boobies
but
on
no.
guitars now?
I was just busy painting veterans. I didn't know there were boobies on guitars now.
Oh, that's great.
War criminals.
Speaking of, I just got back from New York.
Full of them.
Okay.
It was a wild time. It was the first time I got to travel with like my musical gear, with my cymbals and snare and stuff.
Was that not highly stressful?
It was incredibly stressful.
Let's talk about the delays that you dealt with.
Yeah. So my flight on Saturday was at 10 a.m. So I got to the airport at 8, and then I got through security. I'm like, fuck yeah, my cymbals and snare, they're all good.
They ask you what it was?
No, they didn't care.
I don't think they care.
I was worried it wasn't gonna fit through like the security scanner. It went through, no
Oh,
problem.
they got oversized ones. They'll be fine.
Yeah, so it went through, all good. And then I like pick up my shit as I'm like putting all my stuff back together. I'm like, all right, I got through. Get a text. Your flight's been delayed to 7 p.m. I'm there at 8 a.m. I'm like, well, this is fucking stupid. So then I'm like, I'm just going to hang around and see if it changes again, just in case, which I'm glad I did because it went from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And then it went to 6:40, and then it went to like 11:15, and then it went back to 6:40, and it just kept bouncing all over the place.
This is Southwest, right?
Yeah.
This is just what happens these days with them.
Well, and
because
so-
they're all like scheduling everything by paper.
The
like,
major
Post-it notes.
the major airline not involved in 9/11. So at least it's the safe one.
Well, yeah.
Well, so
They seem a bit indecisive, though. It's like, 8 o'clock. No. 11:30.
well,
I've had that exact thing happen where they like delay it like so far, and then I'm like, oh, I should just fucking leave then.
yeah.
And then it changes back to like being like 2 hours later. I'm like, I don't think you can do that. That
Yeah.
seems like it would fuck with everybody.
Well, so here's the deal, right? So I'm glad that I stuck around because I did get to take off at 11:15 a.m. So that was not too far off from my
pretty
10
good,
a.m.
yeah.
But the pilot says what happened, and he's like, yeah, so we like there was some issues with the route we were gonna take, and so we were gonna have to wait. And I'm like, isn't there another fucking route? And then as I'm like thinking that, he's like, so we found another route. I'm like, that's kind of your job. Why are you just instantly going back to 7 p.m.? That's so fucking stupid.
Because they plan their routes with paper.
God, that's so ridiculous. They like fucking send like mail to the other people doing like air traffic control. Like, is this gonna be open at this time?
I mean, that's basically the problem with Southwest right now, actually. Is everything is scheduled on paper, and like they have like people have to go find like pilots at the airport and like tell them, hey, you're on the flight now at 11.
God.
And if that pilot had told them he's fucking off till 7 when his scheduled flight was going to be,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have been going there at all on time.
Right. So
But
all,
an hour and a half late, that's normal for Southwest.
all good. And then getting a car in New York, like getting a lift to my friend's apartment, was also a nightmare for no good reason. At the airport in LaGuardia, there's like designated zones for like
Like a
Uber and
parking
Lyft, right?
garage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you have to go stand in the specific lane where you want to get picked up. So you tell the Lyft like, hey, I'm at this terminal, lane E, and then they come get you, right? So I press the I'd like to be picked up button now, and it's like, okay, cool, here's a lift. Nope. Okay, cool, here's a lift. Nope. Okay, cool. It does that 3 times. And then finally it says, cool, so-and-so's gonna come pick you up. I'm like, radical, this is perfect. So then the person who's gonna come pick me up says they're where I am. They are not there. I'm calling them, texting them, no answer. And they're like, the Lyft app's like, they're gonna leave. You need to get there or you're gonna get charged. I'm like, what the? I'm here. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm like sprinting around this, like trying to find this car. Can't find it anywhere. So I was like super freaked out I was gonna get charged.
Yeah.
Because that's like not cheap.
Yeah, from that airport to anywhere is like $50.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So
You
ended
know,
up.
you know how many pick guards with boobies on them I could buy for the cost of that lift?
How many?
Probably 2 or 3 at least.
Yeah, it's not super
Like
expensive.
2.5.
Depends on the size of the base and the
Two and a
size of
half?
the
2.5 boobs.
Yeah, you get a half chub, the greasy groove special. Anyway, let's go.
But yeah, so it was like whatever, waiting for that, and then finally after all that, another car came and got me, and it was fine. But
At least that airport's nice now.
yeah, it was super nice. And then on the next day, which is the day of my gig, I was going to rehearsal. So I'm going through like the subway system with cymbal bag and snare. And for those who don't know, a cymbal bag is really wide because it fits 22-inch cymbals in it. So,
It's a turtle shell.
Exactly, yeah.
Ninja Turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get stuck going through like the little like turn thing.
Oh, the little turnstile bullshit.
Yeah. And then it locked on me, and I was like, great. So they, with phones now, you can just like scan it, and it just pays for your thing right away. So I was like, let me just reach over and just pay again and get
you
it
can't
unlocked.
do that, though.
I did.
Oh, that's not supposed to work. Because they have a whole thing about you can't like pay for other people, so you can't
Right.
scan them within a couple seconds or
Why
whatever.
can't you pay for other people?
They want to track where people
Communism.
Are going.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I did that and
brother.
was able to get it unlocked again.
Big brother.
Anyway.
And then was fine getting to everywhere else from there. But it was just like, and then I learned from then on, like, and I don't want to go through the doors ever. I feel bad about that.
The
'cause,
emergency exit?
Yeah.
No, those are just doors.
I
there.
know. Yeah, I know.
That's just how New York works.
I know that, but I still am like,
You see a sign that says "Do not push" or "Do not enter," and you fucking open
you
it.
go, yeah. But yeah, then the rest of that day was crazy. It was rehearsal, and then we walked to the venue. It was like a 10-15 minute walk from the rehearsal
Oh,
space.
because New York.
Yeah.
But-
We finished the
Did
rehearsal.
you mention that before? And you were just like, "You walked
Well,
there."
no, it's just things you don't think about when you think about like going to a venue.
Yeah.
You
Well, they-
can't walk to gigs in Texas.
Right. Yeah. Well, they were like, the band was like, let's get a car. And I was like, why would we get a car? It's like 10 minutes.
Of course, you would be like, let's fucking walk.
Because it's so expensive. That's so expensive.
It's two titty pick guards to get to the venue.
And it's a 10-minute
That's
walk.
how we measure
It's
it.
probably a 20-minute drive.
That's how we.
Yeah.
How many
value.
titty pick guards is this?
Yeah, the drive would be potentially longer with traffic and cost so much money. It just
and
didn't-
fitting everything in there.
Yeah,
potentially.
you'd have to get like the XL. You have to get like a Uber XL or whatever. So yeah, it like we walked there. It was great. Got to the venue, super cool space. Played the Sultan Room, and yeah, just like Sunday night, like packed room, like 75, 80 people in this space.
Awesome.
It was
That's the best kind of room.
yeah, it was great. Really good time. And yeah, it was really cool playing in New York for the first time. I very much enjoyed it, and I can't wait to go back. So
Yeah, those Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, made me feel really like, hey, maybe I might visit there someday.
do you imagine yourself doing the
Best
dance?
part of my childhood was Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's a
for
good
sure.
part of childhood.
that's
Because
a
like
good
the
thing.
Avengers,
Yeah.
New York just gets the shit blown out of it.
Right? Yeah.
And
yeah.
but in Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, the
saves
biggest
the day.
the worst part about it is his boss that's like, you didn't deliver 30 pizzas and like or some shit.
Yeah. It's pizza time. Are you, if you go to New York, you're gonna do the dance,
What's the dance?
like
The emo
Spider-Man.
yeah.
emo Spider-Man
Yeah,
dance.
yeah.
I don't really I pretend the third one doesn't exist.
Oh, but it's so good.
Not really.
What?
Topher Grace is Venom. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's like so.
I'm a better Venom
I
than
thought,
that guy.
I thought having Riley here, we were getting away from nerd stuff.
No.
Turns out I was very wrong.
Oh no.
it's
Just nerd stuff from. Yeah,
nerd stuff and more drinking.
I was gonna say nerd stuff from like 15 years ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's the only Tobey Maguire reference I'll make.
What about other nerd references though?
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how much I know about him.
If you want to say anything about video games, Dave will just leave.
I won't leave, but I,
I only
will check
I only
out.
play one video game, so no worries.
What's that video game?
Chivalry.
Oh, that's right. That's
It's
right,
like it's like Call of Duty, but with like medieval knights.
Oh, okay.
That's the only game.
Man, that sounds
I'm
pretty
not
good.
surprised.
Actually. I'm not
I-
opposed to that.
No, dude, it's
That's
like
it's all your lyrical inspiration.
it's
is.
like playing in Braveheart, the game, and I pay like $16 a month for Xbox membership, and my girlfriend's all like, "You play one game and you're paying $16 a month. Why don't you just buy the game?" It's like I have to have Xbox Live to
You have to have
kill
gold, yeah.
to kill other people
Yeah.
in the game.
that fucking sucks.
So
It's a nice racket.
It's such a I can't get over it, man. It's so fun.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries about video games though. I only play one.
Okay.
Just the. I mean, that's a good game. I mean, you play one video game if you like.
I
If you
play,
well, like you.
or
like,
I would.
You would.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If I
you would.
cared enough to purchase it, I would play Skate 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country
Man, that's a
Donkey
great
Kong.
game.
all day when I was a kid.
That's a
man.
great game.
Yeah. Anyway,
Adam doesn't play any video games.
Not really.
Yeah.
We played Mario Kart for work, but
I played games when I was a kid.
Mario Kart got me through COVID.
Yeah.
The GameCube one,
Yeah.
played that all the time. Was
That's a
like,
good
not
one.
sure if I'm going to do music anymore, but I fucking kicked the shit out of some people at Mario Kart.
I like how Dave looked right at me when he said
I played games when I was a kid.
When I was a child.
we know what Dave thinks.
That's not true, though. You know, but
Listen,
it's
listen,
true that I
listen,
played games when I was
listen.
a kid. No, you listen. But I'm a fucking musician.
you
I'm still a child.
You don't have time for that shit.
Yeah, I'm still a child.
You-
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
We're all children except for Adam.
you guys can go, and I will just play video games all night.
Dude, I'll whoop your ass in chivalry though. Like for real.
That's fine. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
Well, so Riley, you're in a band called The Infamous.
Yeah.
So you've been on.
That's goddamn right.
We've had you on the show before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Years ago.
You had us
Like
on.
the first year.
Yeah, it must
Probably.
have been. Yeah.
You had us on. It probably would have been like 2017 or 18
Yeah.
because that was when Hell and High Whiskey came out.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And that was our second full length, but like the first real one we had ever done because we actually went to a studio. We weren't just doing it in like my parents' basement. So yeah, that would have been like 2018.
Yeah.
So it's been 5 years at least.
Yeah.
It's been at least 5 years.
And how many releases have you had since then?
Albums.
After that one, we recorded with Eric Dano. For a
nice.
couple, we did Champagne in the Killing Field. That was a full length. And then we did an EP called Invocations of Insurgency. It was like 4 songs, but COVID kind of screwed all that up. So like we made it, COVID happened, didn't release it, released it after COVID. And at that point, we were all kind of like, we don't even care about these songs anymore. So who gives a shit?
Right.
So we kind of just released it and didn't care. And then we did another single with Eric. Like we have like this whole Eric Dano era where we did like a bunch of songs with him. Did another single with Joe Tacky in Fort Worth. And then we just did Live Evil with Taylor Tatch.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So a shit ton.
Yeah.
How long had y'all been working on the Live Evil stuff?
Live Evil started, I think I wrote the first song that's on that in 2019. And that one was called Heavy on My Mind.
Mhm.
That was a single. That was the first song. And then COVID happened. Didn't practice a lot. Didn't see the band a lot. Didn't play a lot, obviously. And then once things kind of loosened up, can't remember what songs came in what order, but probably 2019, and then just forget 2020 happened, and then 21 and 22. Probably like halfway through 22, and then we recorded it. So I would say probably maybe 2.5 years of thought went into it.
That's awesome.
Minus COVID, because COVID we didn't do shit. I played Mario Kart, like I said.
Yeah. 2020. Ignore 2020.
I didn't do
think just-
shit in 2020, but play Mario Kart and get drunk.
Yeah,
So
we're all trying to forget 2020. I think
Yeah.
still. Heavy on My Mind's the one that whenever I listen to the album, I was like, oh yeah, I know this one. And there's a couple other ones, but that's the one that I definitely was like, oh, I know this one right off the bat.
it's the oldest. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys recorded this with Taylor Tatch. You said
Yeah.
Taylor Tatch is a legend amongst the DFW scene. Definitely Fort Worth. So what was that experience like for you guys? I will say before you answer that, the production quality on this album and the sounds it feels like a level up for sure. Like it feels really good.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I think everything's a level up, but it was kind of like Taylor was super cool. He put us in our place when we were rowdy, and he's also a guitar player, so that was cool for me because he could kind of be like, instead of I'll go,
yeah.
nerdy shit like that. He brought some gear we could use. That studio, The Cove in Arlington, had tons of amps and guitars, which I tried not to get too carried away with just being in Guitar Playground. Really experimented with a lot of different tones and sounds and pedals and stuff. But he's great. Just kind of his insight and working with us. Like definitely my favorite experience recording. I can't really imagine switching it up to somebody else. Like I would probably use him again, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, high marks. I posted about it whenever the album came out, and a lot of people kind of read what I posted about it, like, oh, you know, it kind of made them feel like this isn't just like another collection of songs, because I was like, I've been making records since I was like 15 in my parents' basement, trying to do it myself, having other people do it, switching engineers up. And I've always kind of like hated like what I've made, because other people would be like, it's good, you know, it's cool. And I'd be like, I like this part and I hate the rest of the song or whatever. And
in terms of like recorded quality, like finished product.
like I never made something with this band or anything else I'd ever done where I would have bought it. And this record, he gave me the record where I was like, track 1 to 10, I like it all, I would buy that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was like, a lot of people were like, that's probably saying more about it than anything, other than just like, hey, I'm in a band, we made a badass record. It's like, no, I actually like this one,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So he gave me that.
I don't know how long it takes you guys to get from A to B in terms of conception of a song and then it's finished. But sometimes in Moniker, at least, we toil over things. And then you
So do
play
we.
it live and you fine tune it. And then when you finally get to record it, it can end up being really disheartening because you get the product back and you're like, this isn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't have the
Right, it's
potential
not the
that it
same.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if, I think we kind of do it where we like beat it to death until we don't play it live until we're sure about it. And then that way, if it goes over live well and people react to it right, or, you know, they react to it positively, then we'll definitely record it. But we don't really even show it to anybody until we're like, no, we believe in it. So, you know, maybe they might. But we used to be kind of like real married to stuff. Like Spencer or I would have this riff and we'd just be like, let's use it. It's awesome. And the other two guys would be like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And we used to be like so married to it. Like we really want this idea to come into fruition. And now we're kind of more at the point where it's just like, and then we just move on.
Just trim the fat.
Nobody's married to anything. Like if you don't like my song I wrote about, you know, like I'm working on a song right now about my uncle had an iguana that lived with him in his trailer park. So I want to write like this psychedelic southern rock song called My Uncle Keith's Iguana. and you know
Is
what?
that a working title or is that like your
Uncle Keith's
you're married
Iguana.
to
I like
that?
that. could be the
Uncle
title,
Keith's
yeah.
Iguana. No, that's the song. And you know what? I might finish that and show it to them, and they might be like, fuck that. That's stupid. And I'll just be like, that's fine.
Right.
I'm not married to it because I'm not going to make you guys play shit you don't want to play.
But
you know?
it feels that way for a full release because it's 10 songs, 35 minutes. Everything's really like what you wanted it to be.
Yeah. There's a few spots on there where I think we all do this. We're like, I wish I'd maybe switched something or did
Yeah.
something different.
Yeah.
Maybe a weird note here or there. Like I could point it out, but there's a couple moments where like on the opening track, I was like, I picked kind of a weird amp to use. And then there was another one where I was like, I could have gone a little more balls deep on the solo. And then there's like little words I say throughout the lyrics where I'm like, I could have sang that a little better. But the vast majority of it, I'm like, I'd buy it.
Right.
Totally.
And then you can change
You know.
that stuff live.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what release, it would be crazy if there was not at least one thing that you were like, I wish I would have done that.
Yeah.
differently.
And it's stuff that none of y'all would notice.
Right,
Like
exactly.
you guys would not listen to the record and be like, oh, it's that guitar right there. You don't like the amp. I would have
Right.
to tell you.
Right.
You know?
Everybody's
Yeah.
going to nitpick
Yeah.
their own stuff.
But
Yeah.
I rarely had to do that on this one, and I was like, "Whoa, you know, that's cool." Because like I went to Bearded Monk the other day, and the owner Ben just started playing it. He played like the full record for everybody sitting outside. And normally, like when that would happen, I'd be like, "Turn that shit off, please." You know, I don't want to hear that again. But I was like looking around, and people were like, you know, not bothered by it, but also into it. So I was into it, and I was like, I've never felt that way. You know,
Right? Like
it was
like
cool.
A bunch of people seeing a naked picture of you, and normally you're like, get the fucking
Yeah, but
what?"
this time people are like, "Damn, all right," you know.
You're like, yeah, I look good, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing about this record. I like it.
yeah.
That's my
awesome.
favorite part.
That's
for
great.
sure. And Taylor, you know, huge part of that. So probably going to keep doing them with him for, you know, foreseeable future.
How
for
long
sure.
was the recording process?
I think we did 6 sessions.
Wow.
Like the weekends we would do like 2 all day. And I think we did 6 days total. But we would do guitar, bass, rhythm, or bass, drums, rhythm, guitar together, overdub any guitar that needed to be fixed, then double the guitar, lead guitar, my vocals, other people's vocals, Spencer's vocals, whoever, and then extra effects and
Yeah, there's like organ and
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
did you
But-
guys get people in to play that, or did you?
Yeah,
play?
Taylor did organ, any keys. Ryan had a sample pad. He had some sounds for you'll hear. Then we had Joanne from Hen and the Cox sing on a bunch of it. Ava Thompson, who lives in Denton, sang on a bunch of it. Anthony Coker sang on it. Taylor did some stuff, and then I think that was it. But yeah, we did the guitar, bass, and drums together because we are like, you know, people were always like, great live band. So it's like, well, we should try to capture that a little bit.
Yeah,
So-
it's hard to do that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like doing it that way because it's like knock out one of my guitars just with them. So
Yeah, I definitely have a preference of if I'm gonna do any tracking, I want it to be I would like it to at least be with the bass player.
Yeah.
I did one session recently where it was a scratch guitar track and that was it, and I was okay with it, but it would have been nice to play with the bass player while I was doing that. And then the other thing too is like, I mean, everyone says that you guys are like a live band, so you want to capture that, but at the same time, like I feel like this. I feel like this record, it doesn't necessarily not capture the live feel, but it feels more like a record or recording instead of like the
Yeah.
kind of wild energy of the liveness, which I think is a
Yeah.
great thing.
well, the live thing was something I wanted to both capture and kill this like for years. Like you guys have seen us like when we were young and stuff. People would always say, your live show is great. You guys are fun. You're energetic. You're loud. You get people drinking. You get people riled up. It's fun. It's guitar rock. But then, like, the records, we're sitting at, like, you know, 10 monthly listeners on Spotify. Nobody gives a shit. So my whole thing with this one was, like, I want to capture the live feel that, like, we're known for, but I want people to buy the damn record, you know?
Yeah,
like, I
right.
want to make a good record that's, like, it's that next time somebody says like you're only good live, it's like nope. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Right, the record stands
This
on its own.
this record is what is what I think will change that. The past records, I get it. It's a fair critique. Our past records, it's like it's not quite as good live.
Well,
You
it's,
know.
it's hard to capture that in general.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, it's very difficult. There's
Yeah.
there's
Even
there's-
on like a live record. It's
Yeah.
hard,
Yeah.
it's hard to
Yeah.
capture.
We might.
that's true,
well,
yeah.
I'll tell you in a little bit, but yeah, we might try to do one of those soon. So
Live Evil.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you when. I guess we're gonna talk about it here in a minute. I'll tell you about the maybe what we're gonna do, but yeah, we've always gotten that better live than recorded.
Yeah.
and it was fair. It was very fair. I agreed with it, but now it's like I don't really think that's true anymore. I think it's been changed now
I
with
just think
this
it's.
one.
I think it can be a dangerous trap to also get like caught in, where like if you're trying to capture the live thing, it's like the live thing is different than the recording. It like that sounds like a really stupid thing to say, but I feel like it needs to be reiterated to some musicians sometimes. Of like, you want to capture the energy live? Why? That's live. Like
Mm-hmm.
we are trying.
yeah, it's
to
okay if
create-
it's not exactly the same thing.
Exactly. And it's like it is a great energy when we play live. We can create a different energy for the recording session and make something still really special. And then people can like that and then go see us live and experience that live energy. So I think the boundary you guys have on that for this recording is excellent.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some bands like I think it was Kiss. Like no one gave a shit until they did that live album, and then like Cheap Trick. You know, I Want You to Want Me. That recording is in Japan, And that's why that's the version you hear on the radio, because Cheap Trick was like, well, fuck it, let's go to Japan. They love us over there. And they did that stellar live recording of I Want You to Want Me. Those are all Japanese fans.
Yeah.
So there's times whenever it's like you can capture the band being great live, and in a way it kind of resets their whole career when you can do that. Because, you know, Kiss, I think it was Kiss Alive or something, that record.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like no one gave a shit until they did that. And then it's like you captured the craziness of a Kiss concert on a record.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, isn't that the most like purchased live recording
I think so.
of all time or something?
It's one of
like
them
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to real quick go over the album art. Maybe if I remember to do it, I'll put it in like the YouTube edited video that we'll do. But the album art is wild.
Yeah.
The Devil's Ass.
Yeah. You know, the album art we kind of like went back and forth on for a bit, because the other Ryan and Spencer, they were like, we don't want a logo on the front of it, because we put our logo on everything, and I'm like the marketing guy, so I was like, well, that's fine. The logo, if it gets printed on vinyl or CD, it's got to be on there, because what if you're in like recycled books and you're like, who the fuck is this, you know? So we put it on the back. So we took a creative risk by not putting our name on the front. And then we had a guy in Italy. He does like kind of collage art. And Spencer knew him on Instagram. His name's like Muff is Hot. And yeah, we like hit him. Muff is Hot.
Muff is Hot, and then Greasy
Grooves.
Greasy Grooves.
Greasy Groove, yeah.
Man.
Muff is Hot is this Italian. Good thing Jackson's not here. Oh shit. No, he's like this Italian artist that he does this really crazy like LSD collage art. And we were kind of like, yeah, it's cool, let's try it. And we kind of told him the prompt, and it's like, you know, the left is like the angels and the right's the evil shit. And he like threw that together, and the reception to the artwork was insane. Like everyone so far has been like, it's your best artwork.
It's amazing.
Like by far.
It's so like it just grabs your eyes right away. I feel like the more I look at it, the more I find different things that I really like.
That
like,
you missed,
like,
yeah.
There's a ton going on.
Devil's
Yeah.
booty.
Devil's got a nice ass, dude.
Yeah, the Devil's got a real nice ass.
Yeah.
I was looking at that for a long time, and then but I also like totally missed how vibrant the rainbow is on the left side. Like it's
Yeah.
there's so much happening, and it feels like it feels appropriate for the album, but it also feels like the perfect eye-catching things. Make people go
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I will listen to this."
Yeah, I took some into recycled books the other day to give them some to sell, and the cashier was like, "Damn, like is this you?" And I was like, "I guarantee you put that on the display
It's
rack.
like, yeah,
people are
out on
gonna,
the
people
display,
people are
gonna
gonna
see it.
people are at least gonna pick it up.
Yeah.
And they might look on the bag and be like, fuck these guys, but they're at
Maybe.
least gonna pick it up.
Maybe get a little bit upset too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my dad was like, he listened to it, and then he called me, and my dad was like, very proud of you, love the music, but what the hell is in the most Hank Hill way you can imagine. He
Yeah.
was like,
What the hell is that album?
what the hell is the devil's naked butt? Like, and I was like, Dad, it's, there's nothing about like the naked angel though, that's
Yeah.
fine. The naked angel dick, but the devil's ass, but his flaming hot ass is on there. And, luckily that didn't get flagged by like Facebook or Spotify or
good.
anything for having a booty on there, but it's like a Renaissance
You got to try
thing,
and get it banned by like a church or something so you can get headlines.
Well, Spencer curated that artwork, and originally the dude in the middle, his dick was out, and we
You have to
had
get a sticker you put on that.
well, we had to message Muff is hot and be like, hey man,
Hey, Muff's too hot.
hey, a little too hot, bud. You're like, it looks great.
Oh, where the leaf is?
Yeah, where the leaf
That was
is.
all pink?
That was a straight up. That was a straight up dong, and it was big too. And and we had to be like, hey man, awesome work. It's nearly there.
This isn't going to work. in
You're
America,
gonna
though.
need to cover the dude's willy, So that was like the one edit he had to do, and he didn't charge us for it, So that's
great.
cool.
Free dick.
Yeah, free
Free dick. Free dick.
I have the uncensored version if y'all want to see
Dave
it later.
I
just zooming
definitely
in
want
on
to see
yeah,
it.
I think we
I'm
want
zooming in
that,
on the
yeah.
bean.
I told you this the night of the album release. I unfortunately couldn't make the set, but I told you I showed up late like a loser.
That's fine. You were there.
But the album in general
Sorry.
just the
You guys work. You're working musicians. You were in New York, fucking trying to catch a
flight that might come back.
a flight that you know.
But so I was just overall I just like personally have to say how impressed I was with the album, and I think that after you said it earlier, like we've known each other for a long time,
Yeah.
and been playing music together for a long time, and
Yeah.
on the same bills,
Yeah,
and
probably like 8 years at
yeah,
least. You know.
it's just like the most like it truly feels like the best thing.
I'm pointing to
What
the
are you
album
pointing at?
release.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
Well,
oh.
yeah.
When you point at something towards like the screen, I think something's wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was just worried about what's broken.
Well, no, it's
Yeah, yeah.
well, you know, that's a good thing though, because it's been so cool to like, you know, watch you guys, you know, like you guys are two of the biggest like hired guns, like, you know, when you need like a good big dick bass and drum section, you
Not
know,
as big as the artwork.
not as big as our artwork, but you know, and you guys are constantly busy, so I knew you weren't going to be there because you're working, and that's fine.
Right.
And you know, but I remember like us playing like Louisiana
Yeah.
together, and you know, doing like tiny little shows where no one gave a shit, and trying to release these records that, you know, we would listen to each other's stuff, but
Yeah.
how do we find that bigger audience? And it just felt like we were underdogs for like so long, and now here we are. Like I'm like, are you guys like in your 30s? I'm
Yeah.
30, yeah. And like now we're all busy.
Yeah.
Like
It's great.
we all have great albums, and we're all fucking busy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's because that like we didn't quit through playing Andy's for 10 people.
Yeah.
Or playing in Louisiana and almost, you know.
We're going to Louisiana this week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. And
Yeah.
you're probably gonna
You're
have
going
an
back.
even better time. Remember we went there and we went to the Logan movie?
Do you remember that like
There were more people at that movie than our show.
do you remember that like weird like abandoned space that they were turning into like a rehearsal space that we slept in?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Like
remember hearing about that.
yeah, like
We
they
got hotels. This
no,
time.
they dropped us off at this like weird. It was I love these guys, the Astro Motel guys, but they
Yeah.
like dropped us off and said we could stay there, and he left us with like some Taco Bell and like half a bottle of Captain Morgan, and I was like, dude, these toilets
How
better
did you
work.
get my rider?
The shower was just cold.
Dude,
That
I
was
had
all
to, I had to fill one of those out the other day. I put nothing on it, but I finally got one of those the other day.
That's so
Speaking
cool.
of
Put
which,
anything on it?
I didn't
Not
want
a
to be,
bottle of whiskey?
I didn't want to be picky.
Yeah,
No.
that's
I was
fair.
just like, whatever, dude, whatever you want.
I had that where
Yeah.
I showed up to a gig and they were like, okay, so the venue's gonna give you one bottle of liquor. What do you want? And I was like, nothing. It's okay. No, but we
I'm just
picked
happy to
something,
be
but
here.
it was- yeah.
It's kind of like sex. I don't need a rider. I'm just sex is
I
like
don't need a
you're
rider. I just want a rider.
you're just happy.
Hey,
that
so I'm gonna give you this cancel buck.
That's fine.
okay, good. Yeah,
No,
you,
no, yeah.
yeah, like I'm just happy to be there most of the time. You know,
Yeah.
I don't need chips and Jack Daniels or anything, but you know.
I played a gig once where they asked us what we wanted. I was like, I'll have a Red Bull, and the lady brought a case of Red Bull.
Yeah.
And I was like, do I have to drink all these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you learned you just take all of it with you.
Well,
We-
no, we left it.
We were sitting in the green room at the gig this weekend in New York, and we were like, "Do we get any comps at all? Like, no one's telling us anything." They're like, "You're gonna get a comp for half off at the restaurant that's attached." I'm like, "We're gonna, but we haven't yet."
Yeah.
and we're getting close to doors. Like, what's going on?
Half off in New York also feels very like weirdly cheap.
Yeah. So we got that, and it was awesome. But then they at the same time of giving us the comp, they brought in like 2 cases of beer to the green room, and I was like, "All right, well,
There you go. Yeah,
I am not complaining."
that makes up for it.
Yeah. So aside from just the album sounding like amazing, I have to say, I'm sure you've heard it a lot, but Death by Misadventure is stupid good.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
such a good song.
Like,
Isn't it? That was like the fun, like underdog song that came.
Really?
It came out of like we always liked it, but we don't play it live a lot because there's so many choruses in it.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of beats that chorus into you. And our drummer Ryan actually wrote that one, and it's about you know, the original singer of AC/DC, he like choked on his vomit and passed out in a car and died, and the police report said death by misadventure. And I told Ryan, like,
Bon Scott.
Bon Scott, yeah. And because I'm a huge like original lineup AC/DC fan, but I told Ryan, I was like, it'd be cool to have a song about that. And then he comes back later, he wrote the lyrics, he wrote the guitar, He had the drums, he had all of it. And he's written songs before, but that one we were like really into. It's just hard to do live.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, there's a
And-
lot of stuff on
And
it.
now we're going to have to because it's like so good. And then we got Ava and Joanne on there doing vocals. And then I put like a little slide guitar thing in there. And that song wasn't a single, but it's really cool to see how like post album release, all the singles kind of had their turn. But out of all the unreleased stuff, that one just like out the wazoo.
Well,
that
tell
answers
us-
the question because I was
Yeah.
asking, is
Yeah.
that Riley playing slide?
Yeah.
When we
Yeah.
were talking about the album a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago.
it's just
Yeah.
a simple little, yeah.
Slide's not simple though, and it sounds really
yeah.
good.
Yeah. I'm not much, I want to get better at slide, but I was like, it's got to have slide in there because there's slide throughout the whole thing quietly with the acoustic, and that's kind of why it sounds kind of swampy. But we've always loved the song and loved the recording, but we weren't quite sure if it would be a single or not. So that's why we added in guest singers because like let's elevate it even more. And then
Yeah.
post album release, that's like everyone's favorite, like
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
tell us about the Spotify milestone on this. That's so cool.
Yeah. So, for those listening that aren't like super familiar, basically Spotify, when you release a single, you can pitch that single. You have to do it like a couple weeks before it comes out, but you can pitch it to the Spotify editors that work at Spotify and just kind of tell them, here's what it's about. Here's what we're going to do to promote it. Here's what it means, that kind of thing. I think like you got like a 1 in 10 chance of them picking it. And if you're like kind of just getting going on Spotify, they're probably not going to screw with it. But I pitched every single. I pitched Snakeskin Woman, Heavy on My Mind, Sexual Fun Time, and Spectral. You know, nothing. And then the album came, and for the album, they were like, you can pitch one song. I was like, all right, let's pitch this song where we actually have girls on it and dudes on it, and it's not quite so heavy and crazy, and it's got some slide on it. It's a little bluesier, and it's just kind of a good overall, good feeling, good song. And I kind of wrote in my pitch, like, Death by Misadventure is like, you know, about basically living the high life and then suffering at your own, like, you know, having fun, perils, I guess. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I did mention like it's a modern blues song that demonstrates what happens when men and women come together. And that's kind of how I pitched it. And then I wake up on album release day and I check like the stats on it, and it's on the official like editorial playlist for modern blues rock. And
That's fucking awesome.
and
So
it's really
cool.
it's really hard to get on one of these. It's like 1 in 10 chance if you're it's like
for them to even like look at
for
it,
them to
probably.
even care, you have to be active on Spotify. You have to be releasing stuff all the time. And I think what really helped it was we did 4 singles, and then I did a 5th one with an album, and they probably looked at that and they were like, this song's good. He's tried 4 times. He obviously really wants it, and their numbers keep going up. So I think they threw us a bone. And then it was like the Black Keys, like Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown, and then like us or something. Like it's number 4 on a playlist with like 100,000 listeners.
Yeah.
So we're getting like 2,000 plays a day. So like even
That's fucking
That's
great.
crazy.
even right now, I think they bumped it down to number 5 now. But even now, it's getting like 1,800 plays a day. So every day I look at our Spotify, it's like 2,000 more people, just up and up. And then those people are saving the song, playlisting the song to their own playlist,
Right.
following us. So now we're getting all this plays from like these other playlists. And it's like completely turned like my opinion on Spotify around. Because most people look at Spotify and they're like, you know, those Spotify Wrapped every year. Some bands are like, fuck that, you know, nobody listens to us, whatever. And now it's like, I kind of want to see ours this year, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, that song took the fuck off, and Ryan wrote it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's
Let
one
the
song.
drummer write songs.
He wrote that one song, and it's probably gonna. We're hoping when it's off that playlist, it has 100,000 streams. I think right now it's at about 40.
That's crazy.
But it'll be the top song on our
Yeah.
list
When
by the time it's done.
when all this new attention is coming at your band, do you ever feel like, hey, please just listen to this record? Like
Like the whole.
you don't want to go back and listen to
Yeah.
our first record.
I actually don't mind. I mean, I'm not really embarrassed of our old stuff because I'll be the first one to say, like, first EP's dog shit, first full length's dog shit, Second full length, okay, you can kind of tell they went to a real studio, started, that's this record Johnny Walker Blues is on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can kind of start to tell better at their instruments, good quality recordings, still figuring a few things
No
out.
longer on Craigslist.
Yeah, not on credit, but it's a noble attempt.
Yeah.
And then after that record, I still like Champagne pretty well, and I like the EP okay. But I actually like that all of these new listeners that love this current album, I look at our stats and they're going and they're listening to all the other stuff,
Right.
and some of them are saving and playlisting those songs, like these songs that I think's fucking horrible. And I'm like, you know what?
I mean, if they like it, that's fine.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. We've talked about actually taking some stuff off, but I kind of like keeping it on there to just show how far we've grown.
Yeah.
Right.
Go listen
That's
to
a
our
great
EP
point.
in 2013 and then listen
Right.
to Live Evil. You'll be like, whoa, that's like 10 years, literally, from EP 1 to now. And it's just mind blowing.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
know?
mean, there's people who like to go back and find the
Yeah.
the first steps of something, but I mean, like talking about what you mentioned earlier of like seeing us all, like, you know, me and Dave are, you know, playing, you know, we're the hired guns, whatever. That's how, like, I feel the exact same way watching you guys like have this crazy growth, like, in listeners and shit. It's like the hustle and the not stopping, and who cares if you play to the fucking 10 people crowd, whatever. It's like, and then you get this, and it's like that just because it is this way now doesn't mean that it won't turn around if you put the hard work into it.
Yeah.
And make a great fucking record like you guys did.
Yeah, that's kind of what we talked about after all that happened. Because we were trying to figure out like exactly what did what, and there's like so many things to consider because it's our 10th year being
Yeah.
a band. It's tourist season, so maybe it's because of me, and I'm, you know,
There you go.
I don't know.
Perfect.
I'm 30 now. I don't know. Maybe
think-
that has something to do with it.
I think Mercury is in retrograde too.
Yeah, none of us are in our 20s anymore. Like I don't know, but we were talking about like what our legacy would be like when we're, you know, when the day comes we can't do it anymore. And pretty much everyone that commented or listened to the record or messaged me about it was like, y'all deserve all of it.
Yeah.
And
you
that,
really do.
And you know, I don't expect like a record deal or $1 million or any shit like that, but basically that was everyone's attitude, was like hardest working band that, like, you know,
Yeah.
you can think of off the top of your head,
Yeah.
because we literally like grinded away with y'all in
Yeah.
the fucking dives and Euless and Louisiana and like wherever the fuck. And then,
Yeah.
you know, COVID happened. A lot of people gave up.
Yeah.
Went to playing fucking video games that Dave hates, and like, you know, but like we stuck through it, and you can tell that we got better,
Yeah.
like from point A to point B, and we just constantly like kept trying. And I think that when it's all said and done, I don't know how far we'll go with it, but I think people will probably look at our band and be like, they fucking tried.
Yeah.
Like they really fucking tried.
Yeah.
Like
No
as hard
half-assing it.
as hard as they could. And you know, maybe something happens, maybe nothing happens, but I don't think anybody can look at our tenure and be like, you guys were lazy.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Something big is about to happen. Tell us
Yeah.
about the show you're about
Okay.
to
Yeah,
play.
talking about stuff that you guys like deserve, like so
100%.
Like,
I deserve Pamela Anderson.
yeah, I'm gonna
we-
give you.
give me a
cancel
Pam
button.
Anderson.
We know a guy that makes pick guards. You might be able to
Yeah.
I want
Might be
a
the
Pam
closest.
Anderson pick guard. That's what I fucking deserve. No, so yeah, the album came out, and then the next night, you know, we were already like expectations blown away by that Spotify success. We were like, whoa, like this was more than we ever thought would happen. Then the release show happens, and you know, if you guys play at Harvest House all the time, it's rare to have people go up to the front of the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, even
And-
if it's full.
Yeah, like people were like, no, like you know, it was weird. Like the whole community like seemed to rally for us. And I don't know if there was just nothing going on that night, but like I'm not gonna specify financials, but like broke all records of merch, broke all records of like turnout for us, broke all records of door made, and there was a $2 cover, and we still broke our previous record.
Yeah.
And it was just so like when we were playing, like Spencer was like kind of toasted and having a great time. Like Ryan,
I totally forgot to
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah. Well, Ryan was, of course, focusing on playing as well as he could because he's the Clydesdale. And I was just feeling emotional because I was like, everyone is like treating us like a little differently. It's just a little bit more respectful of like the time we put into things. And like there's 100 people at Harvest House standing on their feet. It was crazy to me. And then after that happened, we were like riding the high on that. We're like, all right, momentum's going to start going down. And I get this email and I'm like reading it. And it's like, do the Infamous want to open for Dinosaur Jr.? $500 at the Longhorn Ballroom. And I was like, this is fucking fake. This is like this is
What a weird scam.
this is like one of my. This is like
First of all, the Longhorn Ballroom is closed.
well, it's
Yeah,
open
yeah,
now.
yeah,
I know, but
yeah.
like,
Yeah, I knew it was open, but I was like, this has got to be like a prank or something. And I messaged him back, and my response was something like, wow, like that's honestly the craziest email I've ever got. We'll absolutely do it and tell me what I need to do to make it happen. And then he emailed me back about an hour after that. I sent it to the band, and I was like, guys, holy fuck, And the booking agent emailed me back, and he was like, awesome to hear. We'll get you set up on the bill and send you everything you need. And then he was like, just for like full disclosure, Jay Mascis asked for you guys.
God
fuck
damn.
yeah.
So I was
dude.
like the 85th greatest. I was like the 85th greatest guitarist on Rolling Stone magazine's 100 greatest asked for us, and I was kind of like, really? Like I want to ask him when I meet him, because obviously we're,
so like, how did you hear of us?
yeah.
I know what you mean.
Well, I want to know, was it
like the
one of-
Spotify like list
was
or
it the
something?
Spotify
Yeah.
thing, or
So your business brain, your marketing
Like-
brain is
Yeah.
like, what got through to you?
or
Yeah,
just
exactly.
know if it's true? Like, hey, did you really ask, or did someone like kind of like, hey, these guys just put out an album, they're doing great, and he might have just been like, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I'd
Or
like
did
them.
he
Yeah.
like see that editorial? Did he
Yeah.
see? Did someone share our album that he saw? But yeah, he said that they either he said that they requested us, but that might mean they just approved it. I don't know. Either way, I'm flattered.
Somewhere in their camp.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Infamous
Yeah, even
is
so,
there.
and
that's
it's
cool.
and it's
Yeah.
a great deal too. We don't have to sell pre-sale tickets. We get 40 minutes.
That's great.
They were like, "What do you want on your rider?"
You were like, nothing.
And I was like, "Never been
Titty pick
asked.
guards.
I'm happy to
Never
be
been
here.
asked. Bag of fucking blue meth from Breaking Bad. I don't know. Yeah, no, we were just like, whatever you think's appropriate. And they're like, we'll put you a case of beer and some like coffee and tea and whatever. And I was like, that's fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it was insane.
That's
Yeah, it was the
amazing.
most
so cool.
amazing email. And I think Longhorn's like 2,000 capacity, and Dinosaur's last couple shows in California sold out.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I don't think this one will sell out. I'm thinking 500 people. I'll be perfectly. That's what I expect.
Very
Anything
happy
over
about it.
200
Yeah.
is like, fuck
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
See,
yeah.
we've never played for like more than I think maybe 200 at most.
Yeah.
And so 500 will already be the biggest show we've ever done. I'm thinking 1,000 is very reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And standing.
and above
At the
1,000.
stage.
Yeah. And like they
Like,
don't
people who
have
want to be there.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a fucking rock show. It's like one of the loudest bands in the world. Jay Mascis has like 3 full stacks, and I'm pulling in there with my Marshall hat. And
But y'all are loud as fuck, too.
yeah, but
Yeah,
people are
yeah.
like, "Why do you guys have a half stack?" It's like, why have you seen who we're opening for now?
Yeah,
I need
exactly.
more.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get 40 minutes. We timed it the other day. We get 10 songs.
That's great.
Just play the record.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna
Honestly,
do
yeah.
half the record, and then we got to do Johnny Walker Blues.
yeah.
You know,
You got to. Yeah.
and we got to do some of the last record because those songs are great. But the one thing I was gonna say, we're gonna ask them if they charge to like record the set, because we were talking about it, and we were like, what if we could do like a live at the Longhorn Ballroom record?
yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah,
Or
that's so cool.
the minimum goal would be like Johnny Walker Blues live at the Longhorn Ballroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be great.
Because that recording of that song's fine, but that's the song where people are like, it's a live song, and it's like, well, let's fucking do it live at the like
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
historic fucking Texas venue there is.
Yeah.
That's fucking
know?
awesome.
So cool.
Do y'all know much about that place, like the
didn't-
history of it?
I didn't until recently when they reopened. I was like, oh wow, this is fucking insane. Like,
Yeah, it goes all the way back to like the 30s.
yeah.
Like
Oh, wow.
yeah, just to like sum it up, Sex Pistols, the only time they ever played Texas was there.
Wow.
Someone headbutted Sid, played like the whole show with blood dripping down him. Nat King Cole played there, and all the premium seated tickets were sold to the African American audience, and all the whites had to stand in the back. So there's like this.
That's how old that place is.
Yeah, it was during Jim Crow. There's like this
Right.
famous picture of Nat King Cole, and all the white people are like standing in the back, like, you know, fucking pissed off. And then Bob Wills, you know, you speak Bob Wills Ranch House, Willie Whalen, literally every country
Yeah.
person ever played there. It's basically a museum of itself. And I knew about it because when I worked at a music museum, we had an exhibit on it. And it was closed. You remember the
Yeah.
Musicians Museum?
Yeah.
So I was talking about it all the time, and people were like, "You're too young to even know what the fuck that is." And now it's like 6 years later, I'm like, "Well, I'm playing there, so I'm about to." You know?
Right.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, super historic. Like
Congratulations.
That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
Huge.
well deserved.
I would have played
Yeah.
there for fucking free, but like, don't tell them that. I would
Don't
have.
put that in your writing.
I would have loved to just step on. You ever like play those places where you're like, fucking Kurt Cobain played here, and
Yeah.
you kind of just look at the stage and then look in the mirror, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
ever had that situation? Like,
When I played main stage at House of Blues, I was like, I have seen so many shows
Right.
here.
Tons of shows. There.
now you're there.
Well, the
Yeah.
crazy thing was that I didn't really like. I knew what I was doing. Like I knew it was like playing House of Blues. This is really cool. But I didn't really get to fully take it in until the set was done, and the stagehands were putting my drums in the elevator to go downstairs, and I was like, "What? What? Wait!
You're a
No
one per-
elevator at Andy's.
What is happening right now?"
You're a
And-
one percenter now.
Yeah, yeah,
You got
and-
an
and-
elevator.
And we got all my gear down the elevator, and I'm standing there like starting to like unscrew cymbals and shit, and I'm like, "What? What happened to me? Like
Yeah.
what? I can't." And then I went up to the green room, and my wife Kara shows me a video of me on like the screen at the House of Blues, and I'm like, "The fuck?"
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
those moments are unbeatable.
But,
Yeah.
but every time that's pretty much every time that's ever happened to me, I'm like, oh, I'm about to play Baby Got Back on the same stage that Between the Buried and Me played.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, like Trees, I think was the first one for us because I was like, you know, Nirvana.
that Nirvana show.
Yeah.
And that famous Nirvana show. And, you know, I remember going there when I first moved here, and like every big band played there.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like walked around it for a minute, and I was like, shit, you know?
Yeah.
It makes you kind of like evaluate things, be like, I might not be the best, but, you know, I'm good enough to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
you get to do some really cool
Yeah.
shit. I think it's very important
Yeah.
that you guys have still not forgotten to take advantage of those things and
Yeah.
take that stuff in, just like we have.
Yeah.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show up early to the Longhorn and just like walk through the damn place
Yeah.
and just kind of
Stand in the audience and just like,
mentally like fathom like
Yeah.
what's going on, because
great.
you know there's so much that, you know, certain musicians I think can take for granted or not realize what they're doing. There's probably
we
people
see
that
it all the time.
there's probably people that play at Trees that are like, it's some shithole
Yeah,
I
don't know
play,
anything
and
about
they
it.
don't
Exactly, yeah.
realize like, you know. And I'm a historian. Spencer's a historian, so we're all about that.
Yeah.
And
Right.
yeah, and it's just weird to get to that level finally, because I remember being like 15 watching Hinder at Trees.
Right.
And at the time, Hinder's the shit, you know.
Yeah.
and now it's like, fuck, I'm on the same stage about to play my fucking song about fucking a ghost on the same stage that Lips of an Angel I first heard, you know. It's weird. It's weird when you
Yeah.
kind of catch who you idolize
Yeah.
in a weird way, you know? Not that I've caught anybody, but I don't know. I don't take anything for granted. I know you guys don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
great. And you'll say it again just a little bit. We'll ask you, but when is that show? When is the Dinosaur Jr.?
it's this Friday. So what is today? It's in 3 days. The 28th. I think doors are at like 6:30. Tickets are like $30. We play at 8 for 40 minutes, and then I think Dinosaur's doing an hour and a half. And I was reading something the other day. They were talking about how the Longhorn Ballroom is currently in their soft opening phase. And then someone commented like, well, that's about to get put to the fucking test, you know,
Yeah.
because Dinosaur
Yeah.
Jr. is like the 5th loudest band of all time or something.
Right. Yeah.
So I've also dived into them a lot. Do y'all listen to them a whole lot?
I have before, yeah,
Yeah.
but not enough to be like really familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, not super familiar, but I have a lot of friends who have super into Dinosaur Jr.
Yeah.
So it's been always like adjacent to me.
Yeah. I mean, I always knew who they were. I remember watching them on Letterman when I was a kid, and I've always liked their sound. I just haven't dived in fully. And I went and bought one of their records the other day, you know, thinking maybe Jay will sign it or something when I meet him. I don't know if he'll do it, but I bought it anyway because who cares? It was like National Record Store Day anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
So I bought one of those. I bought the Where You Been album. And then yeah, like just the fact that he's like credited with like bringing lead guitar back to like alt rock and
Right.
indie rock.
yeah,
And I was thinking about like why would they put us on this show when even in Denton, I know so many Denton bands that love the shit out of Dinosaur Jr. And we're the three of us are like, yeah, we like them. You know, we know Start Chopping and Feel the Pain. We know the hits.
Right.
Saw them on Letterman.
Yeah, you're not like diehard fans.
We're not
though.
diehard
Yeah.
fans, but I like what I've heard. I love it a lot more now. I'm diving in. But then I thought about it and I was like, well, Power Trio,
Power Trio.
Yep.
Yeah.
guitar heavy, Marshall Stacks,
Loud as fuck.
loud as fuck, high
Yep.
energy. And we just had a new record out, so the wind is kind of at our back.
Right.
And
Makes-
I think that's probably what happened.
makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah, at least I think.
sense.
Or maybe they just like my fucking leopard print flying V. I don't know.
Hey, that's pretty good though. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys? We can just skip news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
We,
skip
we,
news.
we, yeah.
Did I talk too fucking much?
No.
No,
this
it's
is great.
perfect. It's
Good thing.
perfect. Absolutely
News
perfect.
is always.
I mean, Biden's, rerunning. That's about the only news I saw. And,
Is that music news?
no. Well, he does have a fucking sick ass mixtape coming out with Kid Rock. So
Oh, dude, perfect, perfect. Well, let's talk about what we're listening to.
give me a fucking thing.
No,
Oh, you're
that was
fine.
great.
You're fine. You don't get anything for that. That's okay. That's okay. I
talked too much.
I'll go first. You did not talk too much.
No, it was great.
It was perfect. So we talked about it on Dave and Hagen Fun Fridays. But there's a lot of singles that came out. Really importantly, and I'll say this for all three of us, the Foo Fighters single. So they released a song called "Rescued" off of their upcoming album. But here we are, and I've talked about it to death, but I think it's excellent. I think it's the most genuine songwriting I've heard from them in a long time, for good reason. But it's a really, really great song. So if you haven't checked that out, go listen to it. And then also been listening to I don't think I've mentioned this on the show, just on the live stream, but a band called Wednesday. They have an album called Rat Saw God, and it's very like experimental, like indie rock, but also like really pretty vocals, and they have songs that sound like really straight ahead, but then like there's that song that we played on the live stream where it like goes really fast and they speed it up
At
and
the
it
intro?
feels yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's a really interesting approach to like the I would say like what's like really popular indie girl rock right now really has like lots of noisy crazy moments as well. So I highly suggest Rat Saw God by Wednesday.
I've got nothing.
Wah wah.
I know.
Not even thoughts on Foo Fighters,
Well, we already
other than what you already talked about in the secret live stream.
secret live stream.
Secret live
I don't
stream.
know. That
yeah.
made me really interested for what they're going to do. I'm a little worried about the album as a whole because I don't know how they're going to get past like the obvious lack of Taylor Hawkins on it. But
Dave Grohl?
Is he
it's-
on?
I know,
Is
I
he
know
on
why,
it?
but
No, it's what did
Who's
you
the
read?
drummer now?
You saw the thing that was like they recorded it. They wrote and recorded it in the last year,
In
right?
the last year.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the recording it's not confirmed. I don't think still,
it's
but
credited just as Foo Fighters for
yeah,
everything.
I'm pretty sure
it's
everyone's
probably
pretty sure
Dave.
Dave Grohl played
Yeah.
drums on it. It sounds like Dave. And then they haven't said anything about the live yet. I've said it many times, but I think that they're going to have like a revolving door of people because there's been a lot of people who have been seen at like the compound. So it seems.
I mean,
they're
that,
gonna have,
that seems like a great way to handle it too.
Yeah.
Is like have
Yeah.
people do it for a couple days on tour, and then another couple days with somebody else. Then
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they're going to want to pick a person and
Eventually.
get to that.
I think they will,
Probably,
but I
yeah.
think they could use mostly they're playing festivals, right?
Yeah, they have like some some kind of tourish dates, but yeah.
But for the most part, if it's festivals, I think it's easier for them to not have somebody permanent and just be like, "Hey, so and so's joining us for these
Yeah.
dates."
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's a lot of rehearsal.
Album, what you listening to?
not anything new.
God damn it!
Was there something I was supposed to listen to
No,
that I can't think of?
You guys, what do you just,
Uh,
come
I
on.
have to
Jenny
check.
Lewis has a new album coming out soon, so I've been revisiting her previous 2 or 3 albums, solo
Nice.
albums. I think there's Fury, I think. I can't remember now, but just revisiting those, and then I've been hearing a lot of random music that's used for high school dancing, so, which actually featured lots of like retro stuff. So like
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, fun.
stuff that all these girls in high school who are like, it seems like ancient. And I'm like, that came out in the 90s. But thank you. Like, Nirvana is ancient.
Yeah, I was at like a housewarming in New York, and someone said, "I know that I'm the oldest one here, and I'm 27." I was like, "Hold on,
Uh-oh.
hold on." I mean, I'm not that much older than you, but okay.
But if you think you're the oldest and you're 27,
I understood why though.
There's a
but,
big
yeah.
difference between 27 and 30.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Riley, what you got?
So newest single I heard recently, I don't know if they consider themselves from like Arlington or Fort Worth, but have y'all heard of Smokey Mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mario and Tyler, and yeah, you might know those guys, but they had a new song called Alpha State Dissociative Trance. And it's a like kind of a psych rock.
They're super psych rock.
Yeah, it's very psych rock, very crazy. Lots of like, crazy guitar and I don't know, was it Ginger Baker?
Yeah.
The style. Yeah, I don't really know how to describe them, but they got signed recently. They're on Rise Above now.
Super cool.
And
Yeah.
their album's coming out soon, and they dropped that single the other day, and I listened to that a couple times, and that's like very different from like what I play, but it's very psych rock, but the guitar is just so cool. It's kind of just it's almost just like you kind of try to follow it and you don't really know where the hell it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Kind of, I don't know how to describe it really, but
In a good way.
yeah, really super cool guitar play. I think it's not super long either. I think it's like less than maybe 3.5 minutes or so. So it's kind of a short song. Really cool groove though. Like, just 60s Ginger Baker kind of drumming with, 70s guitar, but the guitar is so unpredictable with them.
Yeah.
Like you think it's going to go into a riff or something, and it's like, no, here's the fourth guitar solo. And that's what I like. It's
Right.
just not formulaic at all. It's
Yeah.
not like we're like that. If people ever tell us like, you guys have a formula, verse, chorus, Brit, it's like, yeah, we're guilty, you know?
Yeah.
Smoky Mirror is like, you never know what the fuck is going to happen.
Yeah.
So
Very
yeah,
cool.
Alpha State Dissociative Trance. That's
Nice.
their new one.
Perfect. Well, anybody have anything else before we get out of here? We'll do promos and then
Yeah.
we'll do yeah. So Riley, one more time, tell us the details of the Dinosaur Jr. show.
Friday, April 28th. Doors are at 6:30. Bands start at 8. I think it's like $30. If you want to get a table for like you and your, people you're trying to impress, they do have like $700 tables.
Nice.
Probably like some bottle service kind of stuff. But GA is like $30. We'll play 40 minutes. Dinosaur, I think, goes from like 9 to probably 10:30, 11. And then, Longhorn Ballroom in Dallas recently reopened. Lots of history. Jack Ruby used to own it before he killed Lee Harvey Oswald. So maybe the ghosts of... if you don't like, loud ass fucking Marshalls cranked all the way up, maybe you'll like Ghosts of
Right.
Texas Past or something, So
Well, that's awesome.
biggest show of my life.
Fuck yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you go or not
Congrats,
because that's
That's not the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like shit.
yeah, you're gonna enjoy it.
Man.
Either way.
Oh yeah. I mean, now all I got to do is stay out of jail.
You got it.
I got
You got 3
3 days. I got to stay out of jail. No felonies.
Just go home and play GameCube.
I've never had play chivalry. I've never,
Yeah.
never had a parking ticket or nothing. No, I can't change that now.
You got
So,
it. I believe in
Yeah,
you.
stay out of trouble.
So our band Moniker is going to be in Louisiana this weekend. April 27th will be at Gassa Gassa in New Orleans. April 28th will be at Enox in Monroe. April 29th will be at Sundown in Ruston. If any of you who are listening or watching are from Louisiana, come through to those shows, or tell your Louisiana friends to come through to those shows. think one of my streamer friends is gonna come through.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Um,
Are you gonna see the Astro guys?
they're playing with us at one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have a different band now?
Multiple.
Okay.
It's like
I haven't seen them in
They
years.
seem
so-
pretty busy.
it's like
Yeah.
all like that whole group of friends,
I'll have
and then
to-
some are just like all intertwined in
All
a
right.
thousand
Well,
different bands.
please tell them we think about them all the time.
We
you
will.
know?
We
I haven't
will.
I haven't kept up with them, and I haven't talked to them in a while. So
Pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm busy playing Mario Kart.
Well, that's about it for us. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening. If you haven't already, please follow or subscribe on whatever podcast app you are using. If you're watching on YouTube right now, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Press the like button. All those things help us a lot. If you're subscribed while we're live, then a little notification pops up with your name. It's pretty neat. If you're on social media, you can find us DFTA Podcast on Instagram, Don't Feed the Artist on TikTok. Where can they find The Infamous?
We are on Facebook.com/The Infamous Band, Instagram @The Infamous, Twitter @The_Infamous, Spotify, just type it in, Apple Music, all that stuff. We're on pretty much everything. If you want to support the band and buy a physical copy or merch of the album, we also have Bandcamp. Bandcamp Friday is like the first Friday of every month. That's the best day, but we do have Bandcamp if you need merch. And we should be on pretty much just about anything. eHarmony, Farmers Only, Tinder, Bumble, whatever the fuck you got.
Very nice, very nice. And if you have any, you want to say hi to the podcast, if you have any topic ideas, anything at all, shoot us an email at what was the company called?
Greasy Groove.
Greasy Groove
Greasy
at don'tfeedtheartist.com. Greasy Groove at don'tfeedtheartist.com. Seriously, you can email us at any you want to. We'll get the email. And we'll if it's a funny enough, email, then we'll read it too. Drop a comment on the YouTube, DM us on Instagram, say hi. I think that's it. Yeah.
Listen to the Infamous.
Listen to The Infamous.
Yeah, and-
It's a great album.
Thanks for joining us, Riley.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you,
thank you,
Riley.
thank you, my brother in Christ.
Thank you so much, Riley. And
Oh, I get a third. That's right.
The whole collection.
woo! Bye.